Hello wonderful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel and thank you so much for always checking in the channel. If you're a new subscriber, you are highly welcome, and if you are returning, thank you for always checking on the channel. So guys, in today's tutorial I'm going to take you along how to make this very beautiful kimono jacket with a fitted waistband trousers. So for the trousers, it has a zip by the side and you can see that it's looking so nice. But should in case you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do well to do that. And if you have any question as we go by, please drop it in the comment section. And if you're ready guys, let's just get into the video. So for this tutorial, we'll be using two different Ankara fabrics. We'll be using this first one for the kimono jacket and I'll be using this for the pant trousers. For the jacket, I'll be using 2 yards of Ankara fabric. It totally depends on how long you want it to be, but for this particular one, the length is above the nail. So the first thing to do is to go ahead and fold the Ankara fabric into two. Make the right side face the right side, just like the way I'm doing. Make sure that they are both facing each other and it is equally aligned. After folding it into two, go ahead and refold it again. So after folding the fabric into four, the first thing to mark out is the neck width. For the neck width, we'll be using 3.5 inches. Pick out on where the fabric is unfold is the length of the sleeve. The length of the sleeve is 14 inches, but this particular jacket is going to be having a 2 inches band by the sleeve. So instead of 14, we'll be using 12 inches. Mark out the 12 inches. Directly at where we mark for the length of the sleeve, we'll go ahead and mark our armhole measurement. The armhole measurement is supposed to be 7, but because it's a kimono jacket, we don't need the armhole to be too tight. We increase the armhole measurement with about 2 inches, then we'll mark 9 inches instead of 7. Length is 15 inches. From the half length, we go ahead to mark our hip line. The hip line is 8 inches below the half length. We'll mark 23 inches. The length of the jacket is 30 inches. To add about 2.5 inches hemming allowance. Directly at the armhole, we place our bust measurement. The bust measurement divided by 4 is 9 inches. We had 1.5 inches seam allowance. At the half length, we place our waist measurement. The waist measurement divided by 4 is 7. We also had 1.5 inches seam allowance. The hips measurement divided by 4 is 10. We add 1.5 inches seam allowance. So the total measurement we have at the hips line is 11.5. We also place that at the hemming. Connect the mark out point. Next thing we'll be doing is to mark the neck depth. For the neck depth, we are going to be considering the back neck depth first. That is because we are cutting both the front and the back together. The back will be using 1/4 inches neck depth. We'll mark the 1/4 inches neck depth. Then we'll connect it back to our neck width. Go ahead and cut it out. So after cutting out the measurement, the next thing to do is to open it up. Having done that, we'll go ahead and separate the front panel from the back panel. So having separated the front from the back, the next thing to do is to mark the neck depth for the front. The neck depth of the front will be using about 7 inches neck depth. We'll mark out the 7 inches neck depth. Starting from the center front, we go inward with about 1.5 inches. So this 1.5 inches is going to be the replacement of the band. Starting from here, we connect the neck depth like a V line, it back to the starting point of the neck for the front. Just go ahead and mark the 1.5 inches all the way to the hem of the jacket. And cut it out. Do is to determine the length of the band, and for us to do that, we take our tape rule starting from the hem and we just go ahead and measure it just like the way it's appearing by the camera. So for the length of the band, we have about 36.5 inches. I may just add half inches, that will be 37. We just go ahead and cut out the band. Of the neckline is going to be on a fold. We'll fold the fabrics into two like this. Then having folded, we'll go ahead and mark out the length in which we measure. We marked about 36.5. I will just add about 1.5 inches extra. You can just easily trim it out. Next thing for us to do is to mark the width of the band. The width of the band will be using 4 inches because it's going to be on fold. By the time we fold it, it will give us about 2 inches plus the hemming allowance. Then we'll have 1.5 inches in which we remove from the Kimono jacket. So I'll just go ahead and mark 4 inches all the way to the hem, then we'll cut it out. The last thing for us to cut out is the band of the sleeve, and for us to do that, I'm just going to place a lunge directly at where the band will be stopping here. We'll place a lunge here. Then having placed a lunge at where the band will end, we'll just go ahead and use our tape rule to measure the length of the sleeve. So right here we have about 9 inches on fold, that is about 18 inches. The length of the band sleeve is 18 inches on fold. Just go ahead and add about 1 inches allowance. For the width of the band, we'll be using 2.5 inches, also including the seam allowance. So I'm just going to cut it out. I've placed the first band on the second fabric to cut out both bands. The first thing to do is to go ahead and sew the band to the main fabrics like this. We fold the band into 2. Then having done that, we run a direct stitch of about 1 cm all the way into the back, the way it's appearing by the camera. You can just use a serging machine to finish this place up. The next thing for us to do is to input the band of the sleeve. We fold the band into 2 equal parts like this. We go ahead and stitch it down with the main fabrics. So having attached the band of both sleeve, we fold the fabric to make the right side face the right side. Then we'll go ahead to join both panels together using about 1/2 inches. The last thing to do is to hem the jacket, fold the hemming, and we stitch it down. This is going to be having a 2 inches waistband. We'll take that off the measurement. Then having done that, we'll go ahead and mark our crotch line. Our crotch line is our hips line divided by 4, that is 10. I will mark the 10 inches for the crotch line. Our hips line is going to be 8 inches from the starting point. We'll mark out the 8 inches. Thigh line is 3 inches beneath the crotch line. We'll mark out 3 inches. The above new measurement is 19 inches. We'll mark out the above new measurement. So at the crotch line, we'll mark our crotch extension. The crotch extension is the hips measurement divided by 4, which is 10, divided by 4 again, that is 2.5. So we'll mark 2.5 starting from the crotch line all the way to the beginning of the pant. Go inward with 1 inch like this to cover out the crotch extension. At the hips line, we go ahead and place our hips measurement. The hips measurement divided by 4 is 10. We'll be adding 1 inch seam allowance. Directly here, we go ahead and take the lower waist measurement. The lower waist measurement divided by 4 is 8, and we'll add 1 inch seam allowance. So we connect this to the hips line, midpoint of the thigh. We have about 13.5 here. So the midpoint is going to be 6.5 1/4. We'll mark the midpoint starting from here all the way to the hem of the trousers. Thigh measurement. The thigh measurement is 25. 25 divided by 2, that is 12.5. We'll place the 12.5 here. Starting from the midpoint, we'll go ahead and mark our thigh line. Then we'll connect it back to our crotch line and we had 1/2 inch seam allowance. then we connect it back to the hip line. The above new measurement is 20 divided by 2, that is 10. We'll mark 10 inches. We'll place 5 at the center. We'll connect it back to the thigh line. We'll mark 10. Then we also add about 1 inch seam allowance to it. Then having done that, we'll connect it to our thigh measurement. The same measurement we use at the thigh line, we'll go ahead and input it also at the hem of the trousers. Go ahead and cut it out. So this is the front of the trousers. Cut out the front panel of the trousers. The next thing we'll be cutting out is the back. We'll place one panel of the front trousers on a folded fabric like this, just like the way it appeared by the camera. Then having done that, for the back, we'll go ahead and extend our crouch extension. Back, we are going to be extending the crouch with about 2 inches. So starting from where the crouch ends for the front, we'll come up with about 2 inches. We mark the 2 inches out. Having marked out the 2 inches, we'll connect it in a slant form back to where the side of the front ends. For the back extension at the back, we'll be using 3 inches. We'll mark the 3 inches like this. Having marked it out, we'll connect it with a slant line back to this spot. So the reason why we had to slant back the crouch extension for the back is because it's a fitted pant and we don't need any allowance at the waist region of the pant. So starting from where the crouch line ends, we'll go ahead and add about 1.5 inches seam allowance and we connect it back to the crouch extension for the back. The pocket is going to be ending 7 inches from the starting point of the trousers. We will launch it like this. At the upper side of the trousers, starting from the crouch, I will launch 6 inches. This is where the pocket is going to be attached to. For the pocket, I'll fold the fabrics into 4, just like this. We're using a width of 7 inches. Mark out 7 inches width. And for the length, we'll be using the length of 12 inches. To shape out the pocket from the starting point, go down with 8 inches. Having done that, make a curve around it. So this is how the pocket looks like. So the last thing to cut is the band. So for the band, we'll be using a width of 4 inches. Having folded it into 4, measure 4 inches for the band width, that is unfold, and for the length, which is 8 inches, I went ahead to add 1 inch seam allowance. Then having done that, I cut it out. So for us to stitch the trousers, the first thing we are going to work on is the pocket. We are going to stitch the pocket to the main fabrics of the trousers, just like the way it's appearing by the camera. After attaching both pockets of the front panel, we make the right side face the right side. Then we go ahead and remark our waist measurement. The waist measurement is 8 inches and we added 1 inch seam allowance. Having marked that out, we just go ahead and connect it back to the hip line. Join the crouch for the front. We attach the band to the front panel of the trousers. This is how the front looks like after attaching the band. So for the back, we make the right side face each other, both panels face each other. Then having done that, we join the crouch and we also input the band. Having joined the band of the back to it, we take the right side of the pant trousers, take the right side of the front, face the right side of the back, and put our waist measurement. So for this side of the trousers, we are going to be fixing our zip. So the zip is going to go all the way towards around the hip line. That's where the zip will stop. So starting from where the zip will end, we just go ahead and run a direct stitch all the way to the end of the trousers. The next thing to do is to fix the zip. So after fixing the zip, the last thing we'll be doing is to hem the trousers, and after hemming it, we go ahead and join the lower part of the trousers together.